This is the first revision session from the P3 unit, and this is on how to calculate. By the end of this session, you're going to be able to prove that you can not only calculate speed, but rearrange the equation in order to calculate distance or time, and you're also going to be able to show how to get the correct units for each of the three versions of the equation. Now let's start with the equation. They're going to give you this equation on the inside cover of your exam paper. Speed equals distance divided by time. Now that's fine as long as the exam question that you get is specifically asking you to calculate the speed. If they ask you to calculate the distance or time, you need to be able to rearrange the equation in order to do that. Now there's a very simple way of doing that, and that's to use a... Now this is the triangle that you would use. What you do is you need to cover up the thing that you are trying to find. So if I'm trying to find speed, I cover that up, and that leaves me with distance divided by time. That's fine, and I can do the same for the other two. If I'm trying to find distance, I cover up distance, and that leaves me speed multiplied by time. And if I'm trying to find time, that's distance over speed. If you refer back to this slide, it tells you here what to do. So that tells you what you need to know, but you need to remember that because they're only going to give you the first version of that, the speed equals distance. Right, let's have a go at calculating speed. You're going to want to stop this for a few minutes so you can find the YouTube clip, which is here. Now I don't know how to embed the YouTube clip, so you need to find it yourself, but I've put the link on there. If you can't find that link, you're looking for Usain Bolt's winning world record time set in Berlin. It's quite easy to find on YouTube, there's lots of clips of that. And you're looking in the bottom right hand corner to see how long it takes him to complete the 100 metres. In about a minute or so, I'll show you what you should have worked out to calculate his speed. Right then, this is that speed equation that we mentioned, the one you're going to get. Speed is distance divided by time. So in this world record, the distance that he covered was 100 metres and the time was 9.58 seconds. Therefore it's very simple. Speed is distance divided by time, so you have 100 divided by 9.5. That gives you 10.44 metres per second. Now I hope that you've all got that correct. It's very easy. Now on to something that you might find useful. You need to watch out in exams when calculations are worth more than 1 mark, because quite often, especially on the higher paper, they expect you to work out the correct unit as well. Now this can be very daunting, or people can forget that they need to put the units down. It is absolutely essential you put the units or look to see if they're already there. Now this is the way you do for the units exactly the same as whatever you do to the numbers. So when we're calculating speed, which we know is speed equals distance divided by time, well, distance is in metres and time is in seconds. So we've divided the distance in metres by the time in seconds. So if you do metres divided by seconds, that's going to give you metres per second. And if you look at distance, you add the speed, which is in metres per second, and the time in seconds. Well, if you divide by seconds and then multiply by seconds, that cancels each other out and then leaves you with metres. It's the same when it comes to time. You've got your dividing by metres here and you're multiplying by metres there. So those two cancel each other out and just leaves you with seconds. So look out for those questions where it's worth more than 1 mark or the unit isn't written at the end of the space required for your answer. Now a couple of exam questions. So here's the first one. Jay goes 10-pin bowling. There's 2 parts. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to look at these, and during that time we're going to come back and I'm going to ask you what piece of equipment that he's used to measure the distance, what piece of equipment is used to measure the time, and to do the calculation to work out average speed, and you're going to put that in there. So I'm going to let you pause this, work those out, and then I'm going to show you the answer. Now you've unpaused this, let's have a look at the answers that we'd be expecting to get these 4. First of all, he's going to measure the distance with a ruler. There are other pieces of equipment that he could use, both of which would get you the mark for this. So ruler would be correct, so would a tape measure, and so would a trundle wheel. When it comes to time, it's very simple. It's a stopwatch. You can also put a stop clock. But you can't just put a clock. That wouldn't get you the mark. It needs to be a stopwatch or a stop clock. Now, in order to calculate the speed, this is very easy. We know the calculation. It's distance divided by time. So there's the distance, 18 metres, and there's the time, 4.5 seconds. So you do distance divided by time, gives you this answer. Just because the answer's easy, 4 metres per second, don't be tempted just to write the answer in. What I want to see is I want to see this calculation here written in. Because if you write the wrong answer and you don't have any version of the calculation, you will get 0 marks. You won't score anything. However, if you write the correct equation and you put the numbers in correctly, but then for some reason your answer's wrong, you might still pick up 1 mark, because you've proved you knew what you should have been doing. Right, that's the revision session. You should now be able to calculate speed and demonstrate that, and rearrange the equation to calculate distance or time. That's the triangle. And also, you should now know how to get the correct units depending on whether you're working out speed, distance or time. You do exactly the same to the units as you do to the numbers. There are some more revision sessions that you need to watch out for the P3 unit, and the next ones will be on acceleration and velocity, and then there'll be another one on distance time graphs and speed time graphs. So look out for those coming soon.